Good afternoon, everyone. We're so excited to have you join us for our September webinar on exhibit halls and the vendor experience. The first thing we'd like to do is go ahead and start off with some introductions. My name is Jackie Cetera, she, her, hers, and I serve as the Director for Residential Education at Bucknell University, and I'm also the Annual Conference Coordinator for MCUHO.
Hi, everybody. Tommy Tresser-Gielach, Assistant Dean of Campus Life at Wagner College and Deputy Title IX Coordinator, and I'm the Annual Conference Coordinator for NEACUA.
Hi, everyone. I am Tracy Eggleston. I am the Property Manager at Marshall University, and I am the Sponsorship Chair for MCUHO.
So we want to start off by talking a little bit today about what you can expect when you work with our corporate partners and our vendors at the joint annual conference coming up in just a little under 20 days now as we begin the conversation. So the first one is what to expect. The first one is really when folks go through the exhibit hall and they're working with vendors, you know, our vendors really want to know who you are. They want to get to know who you are. They want to engage with you in your experience. So it really is about taking the opportunity to get to know folks and talk to them and have those conversations. And Tracy in a little while will talk a little bit more about what that relationship looks like when maybe you don't have the buying power. A secondary thing is they want to know what's going on with the changes on your campus, right? They want to hear a little bit about what has happened over the past 2 years on your campus. How does it look differently? How does your job look differently? Because they want to know who you are so they can also better serve our populations and our institutions, but also in the end, serve our students better. The final thing is really get to know who you are. A lot of our vendors and a lot of our corporate partners know who we are based on roles we had before COVID. Many of us have roles that are different now. Some of us have left institutions, transitioned jobs, or maybe even have new jobs that didn't exist. So there's a lot of opportunity for them to get to know you. So really go in with an opportunity or a more of an open mind to really talk and get to know our vendors as people. So I'll turn it over to Jackie, who will take the next part of it.
Great. Thanks, Tommy. So we want to talk just a little bit about planning your time during the vendor hall, the exhibit hall at the conference. So it's really important that you take the time to get to every vendor. So it will be set up in a big exhibit hall, and everybody will basically have their own booth and different things will be happening. So of course, we're going to have some furniture vendors there, and they'll have a setup so you can like sit and feel and do all of that stuff with the different types of furniture and see how it can get set up. We'll have some vendors there that do like put your names on things. So t-shirts, swag, anything like that. Some vendors will be for promotional things as far as on the tech side. So they can show you how you can do their different things with technology and engage with students. So taking the time to get to know everybody that's there, walking around, see what they have to offer, engaging in conversation with folks. And then of course, making sure that you take the time to check in with vendors on your respective campus. So we all have different partnerships with different vendors. And so some of them might be there at the exhibit hall. So that list will be shared out before we come together at the Kalahari. So you can look and see if you work with Starez, for example. Bucknell uses Starez. So we will make sure that we stop by their table and say hello and check in and just engage in some conversations that way. And then most importantly, exploring the new vendors and learning about their products. Is there an opportunity for something new to be brought back to your campus? Maybe not right now, but maybe in the spring or even in the years to come. And then of course, just spending time building relationships. And so one thing that we're going to have this year is a human bingo of sorts, but it's not going to be your typical bingo of, a punch card for visiting this number of vendors. We're really being very intentional with having all of our attendees engage and visit all of the vendor booths. So more to come on that for those of you that are joining us in the Poconos. So we look forward to seeing you there, and I will turn it over to Tracy.
So if you are not the purchasing person at your institution, which a lot of us, when we're first going to conferences, we're not the purchasing person. And so you think, why should I be going to the vendor hall if I can't purchase anything? There are so many reasons we should go. You're going to have that purchasing power one day. So, I've been in residence life for almost 15 years now, and there are many different things that I've recommended to our associate directors and our director, and our assistant directors of facilities that have eventually ended up being implemented on our campus. And that's the great thing is, a lot of them may not be going to conferences that you are going to. And so you are there, you're building these relationships with the vendors, and you're able to bring that information back to your main campus and share and say, hey, I met this furniture vendor, and it sounds like we're looking for this new type of furniture, or we're looking for this new type of program. For example, we use ERES Life now, and that was something that I ended up bringing back to campus because of our selection process. And nobody would have ever known about that had I not brought it back. And something may not be working right now. It may not fit into your campus, but 3-4 years from now, it will be something that you're like, oh, wait a minute, I met a vendor and I think that they would be an absolute great fit. So it's really, really important for you to just go in there and talk with people. It's kind of like building relationships with residents in your halls. Kind of look at going in the vendor hall as you building those relationships in your workplace. You might be a vendor one day, as I've said before. I recently just started talking to, what was it? What you just mentioned, Jackie?
Stars?
StarRes. So we actually just started talking to StarRes. I can't tell you the last time we talked to StarRes. Again, it was one of those relationships that was forever ago that has just now come back. But always make sure that you take their cards, take any information that they have sitting at their tables, and give them your contact information. They'll definitely be emailing you. The stuff that they email you, pass that on to your supervisors, because it will be a great relationship that you create with them for years to come.
Thanks, Tracy.
Mhm.
So we want to give you a brief snapshot about who's going to be in our exhibit hall and who are going to be some of our vendors. So we've included a snapshot of some of them here. Some of them we've mentioned, some of our housing software partners, Campus Solutions, furniture, but also event management companies, and some that are even a little bit different. Architects will be there. Individuals that we really want you to cultivate and build a relationship on, because if anything has taught us over the past 2 years, there is a lot of change that comes with the nature of what we're doing. So you don't know, maybe one day you're going to work in an architect's office. Maybe one day you're going to become, you'll work for, Savoy and trying to sell, Bucknell, or for whatever that is going to look like. We want you to build those relationships. Our vendors are excited to get to know you. We also want to be really clear that, all of our institutions have been financially impacted by COVID. That has a trickle-down effect to our vendors. So these vendors are putting their time and their energy and their resources into coming to Pennsylvania from all over the country. Some are coming from Canada. I know the ERES Life staff pretty well because we use them. They're coming here to see you and to build relationships. So as much as we're valuing and respecting the work that our participants are coming, we are actively as equally excited to welcome our vendors and our corporate partners to show them that we value them and we value reestablishing our relationships with them as we look at life in our new normal post-COVID-19.
Thanks, Tommy. So that is all that we have for you today. If anybody that is joining us live has any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask. I'll just pause for a moment in case anybody does have questions. Okay, seeing that there is none, if you do, I apologize, Tracy, your email seems to have been cut off here, but feel free to email myself, Tommy, or Tracy if you have questions at all about the vendor fair or anything related to our annual joint conference that's coming. We thank you so much for taking the time today to join us, or if you're watching the recorded version, thanks for taking the time to do that. Take care. Yay.